Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now, available in 2018, the birthday edition. Dad AF. It's my birthday and I'll say what I want to, say what I want to. Alright, let's get right into this video. Oh my god, I'm losing fans already. It is my birthday today. I made it to 46, so anyway, I have received so many messages from people being like, are you going to review the Shane Dawson Tanacon video? Look, I just got back in from the sun. It is 95 degrees outside. Sweltering. Oh, hot mama. Hot toddy. Anyway, I have received so many messages from people asking me, are you going to review the whole Shane Dawson Tanacon situation the same way that you did the Graveyard Girl situation? And I thought about it, and you know, honestly, I had made a couple videos about Tanacon. I think I've made 2 videos about it. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know, I don't even know that, I mean, what am I gonna do? Do a reaction video to Shane's reaction video? Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a reaction video talking about Shane's 6-part series about Tanacon. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I have a lot to say about it. And I don't know that all of my opinions are going to be popular, you know? But I will tell you this, that one of the things that I love about YouTube, especially more so, like, I find this a lot on my channel, is that, you know, we can have a constructive conversation where we don't come for each other and we can have differing of opinions, and that's okay, you know? And I try to cultivate that in the comment sections of my videos. It doesn't always happen. It sometimes gets a little nasty. But, you know, just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean that we have to hate each other. You know, we can have a differing of opinions. So I want to go in and just talk about this first part of Shane's video, which I think is called The Truth About Tanacon. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tana Mojo, who is a 20-year-old YouTuber, threw a convention called Tanacon the same weekend that VidCon, which is the national YouTube, the national anthem, is the annual YouTuber creator thing that's put on by John Green of the Vlog Brothers and The Fault in Our Stars. So anyway, and it's like where everybody goes, all the creators, all the pretty people, they all go over there, right? So I'm watching all of this unfold, and it ends up that they had to end up canceling Tanacon because it became a safety issue. They were overcrowded. People waited outside in the sun all day long, on and on and on. And they didn't get to meet their favorite creators. Some of their favorite creators didn't even show up, even though they had like tweeted it out that they were in support of Tanacon. I mean, there were a lot of people. It was like Casey Neistat, Shane Dawson, you know, all of these people, on and on and on. Ricky Dillon, Bella Thorne, the actress, and sometimes musician. But all of these people were in support of Tana, right? I mean, tons of people supported her. And really it was because she had put out this 57-minute video talking about a bad experience she had had at VidCon. Well, a lot of YouTubers just kind of don't really get behind the whole idea of VidCon because they kind of think, what I perceive is that it's like, you know, the machine working itself, so to speak. That they pick the people that they want to be there and they feature those people. But I mean, like, that's kind of what YouTube is anyway, right? I work my ass off and I'm not there. I'm not on that YouTube Rewind. So anyway, so all this went down and Tana was very, very silent for a couple days afterwards. People were like demanding refunds. I mean, it was just a complete shit show, right? Now, allegedly, Tana and her friends were kind of off partying that whole weekend. They weren't really doing anything. Now it's coming out that supposedly Tana was kind of isolated and she didn't really know what to say about anything, which, you know, honestly, from a legal point of view, I totally understand. Like, I don't know that I would say anything either, because something that she says could bite her in the ass, but at the same time, she wants to be able to speak to her fans about this, you know, botched convention that she threw. So the tickets were free, but you could buy VIP meet and greet tickets that were $65, right? And it was interesting because I had a friend of mine that was out there for VidCon, and I told him, I said, you ought to just buy a ticket for $65. I mean, it's not that expensive to go over to Tanacon just for the day and see what it's all about, right? And so anyway, I went on and I tried to buy both kinds of tickets, and they were still available the day of Tanacon. So it wasn't sold out. And I think I even talked about that in my my second Tanacon video that I did. So Shane Dawson comes to the rescue and he's tweeting out all this stuff. And but not, I wouldn't say, like, completely protecting Tana. Like, James Charles came out with this tweet. He was basically like, girl, just own it, okay? It was a shit show. It's a safety issue. Own your truth, right? Thank you, James. One of the things I love about James Charles is, and he's made his fair share of mistakes in the past, okay? God love him. But the thing is that he doesn't have a problem, like, calling out his friends when they're problematic. And I really appreciate that about him, you know? Because one of the things is that as you get older, you realize that if you enable your friends' behaviors and you just kind of engage in them or whatever, or participate in listening to them, they will continue in those same behaviors. Sometimes consequences are, you know, not being part of that. And it was interesting because he tweeted out that he was part of, like, the beginning processes of putting this together, and then she just kind of went on without him. And I'm going to share a personal story. It's very interesting because, like, 2 months before, I've been sober since I was 22 and a half years old. I've been sober for 23 and a half years. But right before I got sober, I had a roommate, and she moved out and took all of her shit. And I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, your life is going down the drain, and I cannot be part of it. The only thing I can do at this point is not be your friend, because that's the only consequence I can give you. And, you know, I look back on that, and at the time I was like, fuck her, you know what I mean? But looking back on that, and she knows this because I've told her this, she was the only friend of mine that cared enough to do something about it. So, flash forward, Shane comes up with this idea that he's going to do this deep investigation into what Tanacon was. Was it a conspiracy? Was it because they think maybe now the whole thing was just a money gig or whatever, and that it was just this total conspiracy. Supposedly there were like 15,000 people that were there, but really it's only 5,000 people that were there. There's all these different reports, and so he's like, I'm gonna go in and investigate it, right? Well, I appreciate that, and I'm glad that somebody is doing it, because I'm super interested to see what's the truth behind all of this, right? But here's the one part, and I want to say this before I get into this video, because I am impressed with what Shane is doing with this. And I think if anybody's gonna do it, Shane is the one to do it. Kind of. And let me explain to you my one point of hesitancy with this. I have noticed, I need to get a sip. Woo, mama. I have noticed so many tweets, like in the last 2 days, of people saying, like, Shane is Oprah of YouTube. Shane is the literal Oprah of YouTube. Shane is the Oprah. I mean, all these people are saying that Shane is the Oprah of YouTube. And he may be, okay? And basically what they're saying is that he's the kind-hearted, compassionate guy on YouTube that gets to the bottom of things and tries to fix them. He did it with Graveyard Girl. He's done it with other people. He helped out Bobby Burns. Like, he's a really nice guy, right? And I agree with that statement. I don't know that I think that Oprah is the fair comparison. First of all, Oprah has her own channel on YouTube, okay? So she's the Oprah of YouTube, and it's called The Own. And I have watched, I might be one of, and I know people don't love Oprah, okay? Don't come for Oprah in my comment sections. But I know people don't love Oprah, but I do, okay? And I have learned a lot from her through the years. I have learned how to rise above it, to remain teachable, and to, at some point, try to stay unbiased in situations. I've watched a lot of Oprah. I've clocked in a lot of hours of Oprah, interviewing people, doing investigations, having people on about their stories, okay? And not once have I ever heard Oprah say, in the middle of investigating a story or interviewing somebody, I love you, we're going to fix this. Now, have I heard her say that to people that she feels for? Absolutely. But not in the context of trying to get to the bottom of something. At the end of Shane's first video, he says to Tana on the phone, I love you. She says, I love you, and he says, I love you. And then he says something to the effect of, we're gonna fix it. I'll help you fix this, or we'll fix this, or something like that. And I'm like, okay. You cannot go in and do, I mean, Shane, if you really want to get to the bottom of this, you have got to completely stay unbiased, right? As any interviewer, any reporter out there, any journalist, which I'm not, okay? But I've read my fair share of mystery novels. It's one of the reasons why a lot of journalists do not vote in elections, because they cannot have an unbiased opinion if they vote and participate in politics. I don't know if that's something that you guys knew, but a lot of journalists do not vote. They're not take party favor, party favors. they're don't pick parties and things like that. So, and it's because they can then report unbiased with no bias. So for him to have come out publicly against VidCon in the past. I mean, I've seen him in videos before say, I can't stand VidCon, I would never go. 2, to have been a featured creator that was going to have a meet and greet at Tanacon, okay? 3, to have been a featured creator that was not able to do his meet and greet at Tanacon. 4, to be a friend of Tana's. And 5, to say we're going to help you get to the bottom of this. I'm not really sure I think he's a person to do an unbiased investigation into Tanacon. That being said, I'm very, very impressed with what he's done with it so far. And I'm really, really hoping in parts 2 and 3, because this is a 3-part series, supposedly, I'm really hoping that he doesn't let Tana off the hook. That's going to be where I check, okay? And because... Now, y'all know I say I'm the psychic of YouTube. I wish people said I was the Oprah of YouTube, but listen, I guess I'm just not that fine. But, you know, I have predicted a lot of things. Now, 6 months ago, a year ago, when I was talking about Tana Mongeau, one of the things I said was, where are the adults, okay? She is a role model for the younger generation. I said, someday this is going to bite her in the ass, because the adults around her, her managers, all right, are not like giving her good advice. They are not moving her into the right directions. Then what people come out and say is, you can't tell Tana anything, right? That she does what she wants to do. So now we're in the context of a convention, and if you watch the first video, basically what she says was, I just did what they told me to do. Well, girl, I mean, no, okay? You have lived your life for the last couple years on YouTube, basically doing exactly what you want to do independently, and everybody around you says, Tana can't be told. Well, now you want to pass the buck to somebody else? And in this video, okay, I will say this. I thought it was very, very interesting that they go into this whole Good Times thing. So Good Times is supposedly the organization. You know, it's like when I'm watching this, I mean, I'm like literally watching it like this. I mean, we're not talking about The Keepers on Netflix, okay? This is not a murdered nun from 50 years ago. This is Tanacon, okay? And I know a lot of people are upset about it, but in the grand scheme of things, on a legal point of view, like, this is serious. Like, you're talking about, I mean, I don't know, it's gonna come out in the next 2 parts, but it's gonna be very interesting because people have a right to refunds, okay? And I think that Shane's gonna offer her a solution for that because he's smart with stuff like that. And I think that they're going to talk about this Michael guy who's supposedly the person in front of Good Times. Well, what's interesting to me about that, okay, is that when this whole thing got announced, and Tana's arrogant as hell, all over YouTube, all over Twitter, talking about how Tanacon is the best thing since sliced bread in the entire world, okay? Well, it done bitch in the ass to be that cocky. Shouldn't say things like that. And now all these people are like, well, this isn't Tana's fault. This is, yes, whose fault do you think it is? She signed her name on it, okay? If Britney Spears just stopped touring, or Lady Gaga, or Beyonce, and just said, I ain't showing up, okay, this isn't going the way that I want it to go, and it's a Beyonce concert, you better bet your ass Beyonce fans are going to be coming for Beyonce. Yes, Tana is responsible. She signed her name off on this, okay? And I hope people start holding Tana accountable because she is not going to grow up and learn from her mistakes. This isn't about fixing things. This is about remaining teachable and learning from the experience. I'm pausing because this is what it's about to me. I don't dislike Tana. I feel for Tana, okay? I feel like she is a young lady that is being used by the system to gain money and what power within whatever system is going on out there, because YouTube, unless people realize it, is now the moneymaker, you know, in the industry of entertainment. It just is, okay? It's not television anymore, and it sure as shit ain't movies. YouTube is the wave of the future, and Tana Mongeau is at the top of that, right? So does it make sense that somebody would come in and use her? Absolutely, right? But if you have friends around you and you have managers, where are her managers? Where are the people that are advising her on what she's doing? She is a brand, okay? I bet your bottom dollar, that Tana Mongeau is LLC'd or incorporated somewhere out there, okay? There's a Tana Mongeau business. Tana Mongeau LLC, Tana Mongeau, you know, incorporated, whatever. I don't know what it is, but she is an entity, a business entity out there that is suable, okay? Class action possibly by hundreds of people that did not get entry to this convention and whatever. Not to mention, did y'all see, okay, now she promised that the price of the VIP, what you got in that VIP bag was worth $65. Would you pay for? Girl, what, some stickers? Oh my Lord, when I saw that come out of that bag, I was like, oh no ma'am, you can keep your smelly stickers. I don't need them, and not that fake Gucci princess bracelet. What a bunch of junk. I mean, did you look inside a bag, Tana? Did you open it and see what you had in there? I mean, $65 worth of stickers, girl. Come on now, okay? And a condom, and a Tana condom. How about a Tana tacky? That's tacky, okay? So anyway, Shane goes in there and he starts talking about this Good Times guy who supposedly is the event organizer, the event creator or whatever. Well, when I had done my very first video about Tanacon, I had gone and looked because Tana had tagged all these people and stuff. So I went and I looked who this is. Now y'all notice they're not coming for the record label that supported her in this too, right? Not yet, they're not. We'll have to see in parts 2 and 3. But they haven't come for the record label yet that supports Tana and is also supporting Bella Thorne. Why not? Why aren't they part of this? I mean, they're all equal parts of it. They all sat at a table. When you talk about this and you talk about who's responsible for this, one of the questions you have to ask yourself is, what was the profit to be gained by each person? So for example, if Tana was gonna gain 30% off of this, Good Times 10, and the record producer 10, then Tana is ultimately responsible for this because she had the most to gain. Does that make sense? If Tana wasn't gaining anything off of this, it was 0% but just her name, and she basically was selling her name to do this convention, that's a different story. And then I do feel really bad for the girl. But if she had anything to gain off of this financially, yeah, she needs to be held responsible for this. And I'm not okay with this. Tana's 19, Tana's 20 years old. She's a young girl. Come on now. This is a girl that has toured the world. She has been on tour. This is not the first event she has shown up to and been herself at, whatever. So they start talking about this Michael guy, and Shane's like, oh, I need to interview him too. And well, great. I can't wait to see it. I hope he does. They end the whole movie. This is the whole movie. See, Shane is a documentarian videographer of the world. I'm just a dude with a camera. I love his like cinematic moments. And at the very end, he goes, oh my God, I just got a text. And then it goes to be continued. And I'm like, fuck this. Like, seriously? Why didn't you post all 3 parts in the same day? I would have watched them. I would have watched them twice. I just want to know what the story is. I want to know what the truth is about Tanacon. Now, I do believe that Shane will hold Tana accountable. I really do. I also think this is where, when I said that Shane maybe wasn't the person to do this, this is where I think that Shane is the perfect person to do this. So I hope you stayed till the end of this video. If you already wrote a nasty comment, you can go back and you can erase it. This is where Shane is the perfect person to do this video. Because he's going to go in and he's going to investigate it. He talked to these girls that were sunburnt standing out in the sun. Those were some truth tellers. I loved those girls. They were some truth tellers all day long. I was like, yes, ma'am. They're like, no, we got scammed. We got scammed all day long. So anyway, but I loved that moment, and they had like a real innocent moment with him. That was so sweet. But the reason why he is the perfect person to do this, okay, is because, yes, he will investigate this, and maybe that is biased, okay? Maybe it is, because he has an investment in all of this. But the tail end of this, if you've watched enough Shane Dawson videos, what you know is that he's going to help Tana grow as a person, and he's going to help her fix this. So yes, while it doesn't make him the investigative journalist of the world because he's going to help her fix this, I think the fact that he's going to help her fix this trumps the investigation. But we'll get both parts of it, because I don't think if it wasn't Shane, I think if it was somebody like Philip DeFranco or somebody, I don't know that I think that Tana would trust them enough to be honest. So I do believe that we're going to get a really honest response, and I also think that Shane is going to help her grow into the person that she could possibly be. What she does with it is up to her. It's her choice what she does with it, right? So I guess we're just going to have to wait till parts 2 and 3, but I'm real intrigued by it already. I think Shane's done a fantastic job with it. I think he's looking at all angles. I had never really even thought of the conspiracy angle of it, and so I'm very interested in that. Like, was this all just a setup? Was this all just, and you know, and if it was, Tana could have been completely set up without any knowledge to her whatsoever. I mean, it happens a lot. I know it's hard to believe, but it happens a lot. So what do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below, and I love you. I cannot wait to see parts 2 and 3. Shane, post some damn videos. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.